We begin today's series with cleaning pipes on the front line, where very large pests have appeared, namely Russian soldiers. But FPV drones clean them very well, leaving only pieces of them behind. The same applies to those who illegally roam Ukrainian territory with weapons in their hands. The next soldier was fully equipped with a large backpack on his back. When the Ukrainian UAV flew up to him, he tried to run away, but it was too difficult for him. This one decided to play dead, but the pilots had already seen that it wasn't true. The next one just froze in place and waited for the inevitable. In this case, one of the Ukrainian units managed to detect one of the very rare and powerful Russian weapon systems. The heavy flamethrower System 1A costs more than $15 million, and a full rocket salvo will cost $150,000. It is indeed a stroke of luck to detect it and immediately find an opportunity to destroy it. The first Ukrainian FPV arrived in a relatively short period of time. We can observe poor image quality, which indicates that there is electronic warfare equipment in the escort vehicle. However, this did not prevent significant damage to enemy equipment with only 2 drones, costing a total of only $1,000. The difference is remarkable. In the following frames, 2 Russian soldiers try to hide in a building in the middle of a field. Everything could have been fine, but they were spotted by a Ukrainian reconnaissance UAV, and that means only one thing. Very soon, a strike FPV drone will fly here, and possibly more than one. They will easily destroy this building and everything inside it. In the Lyman direction, 2 Russian occupiers chose a barn as a shelter and ended up there. The Signum Battalion pilot accurately guides the drone to the target and destroys the shelter along with those who considered it their salvation. Then they find isolated targets. The occupiers scatter, hide, and try to deceive the drone. Some throw down their automatic weapons. Others press themselves to the ground, hoping to become invisible. But the verdict has already been passed, and it comes from the sky. The pilots will not allow the occupiers to feel safe anywhere, not in trenches, not in hiding places, not in the shade of trees. In the Donetsk direction, more than 24 occupiers were neutralized as a result of the precise work of Ukrainian pilots. The enemy tried to hide using white camouflage under the snow, one of the most difficult options to detect, but even this did not provide reliable cover. Aerial reconnaissance detects the slightest signs of movement, and operators work carefully and methodically. Each detected target is tracked until it is destroyed. These images show once again that camouflage complicates the task, but does not make it impossible. Air surveillance works in all conditions. The same applies to Russian assaults in the Pokrovsk direction. Most of them in the same way. Detection of assault groups from the air. Transmission of coordinates to the nearest units. Launch of strike FPVs. And the precise work of pilots, which is constantly adjusted and controlled by reconnaissance drones from the air. This is how Russian assaults most often end, with personnel who have not even reached the positions of the defense forces. After a long journey to Ukrainian positions, the next Russian soldier decides to find shelter and rest in a forest. He hopes that if he sits under a tree, he will be safe. But the reality is different. Every occupier who chooses a tree as shelter remains under it forever. Ukrainian drone operators work with incredible precision, leaving no chance. And trees, in turn, are not thick enough to save someone's life. Sometimes even a bulletproof vest does not help. Another one, but this time, he made an incredibly fatal mistake. Staying in the middle of an open field for too long. He did not take into account that reconnaissance drones operate very frequently in these areas. Even a rifle would not help against such a small target, which, in addition, moves very quickly. In Donetsk Oblast, the Ukrainian Phoenix unit destroyed enemy personnel. First, the UAV operator, a very important target. After that, a large number of infantrymen who were trying to gain a foothold in areas of Donetsk Oblast. At the end of the day, an enemy UAV control point was also detected and successfully destroyed. This is really important for the modern battlefield. Inside one of the trenches near Pokrovsk, an occupier was found who had been waiting for evacuation for a long time. However, he does not know that it will never arrive. The Russian command does not care about anyone they sent into battle. They are trying to evacuate a few people, but even fewer are successful. Therefore, the fate of each occupier is as predictable and just as it should be. Next, destruction in the sky. The Katana unit works frequently and extremely effectively, methodically clearing the airspace. Each Russian drone shot down is of great importance. It means thwarted reconnaissance, an unadjusted strike, and preserved positions. This is how control in the sky directly affects the situation on the ground. Night operation of Ukrainian bomber drones with thermal imaging cameras provides improved visibility of the enemy in complete darkness. While soldiers can only hear the sound of the drone, the FPV pilot sees everything from the air. Every movement of an object that emits heat. This allows for accurate and rapid detection of targets and their neutralization. And that is why this weapon is incredibly necessary and effective on the battlefield. And finally, as always, a selection of precise and coordinated work on Russian targets. This time, the footage shows the actions of one of the Ukrainian battalions of unmanned systems in the Kharkiv region. Air reconnaissance records the enemy's movements, after which strike drones go into action. Russian infantry and transport used to move personnel and attempt quick maneuvers are hit. Each detected target is tracked until it is destroyed. Without haste, but without pause. One sortie. One target. Destroyed transport means disrupted logistics. Neutralized infantry means reduced pressure on Ukrainian positions. This is how the systematic work of drones changes the situation on the front line. And this is how battalions of unmanned systems day after day deprive the enemy of the ability to act effectively. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and Telegram channel to see more unedited videos. Good luck!